take care of it right away. Good morning. Good morning. Here we are. Welcome to our first meeting of the Morgan County Commissioners. Glad to all see a bright and shiny people out there. Yeah. And I appreciate the donuts. If you missed one of them, there's some left that I'm sure we'll take care of. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like to have anybody that would like to honor a veteran to lead that, or is a veteran. Who do we have? So, Jeff? Thank you. From our probation department. Come on up. What branch of service were you in?
I was a submariner in the Navy during the Cold War.
Good for you.
So, interesting
Thank you for
times.
leading us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jeff. Please pray with me. Oh God, good and gracious God, as we begin our new year with new challenges and new opportunities, we ask for your wisdom. We appreciate the loving care that you give us. We ask you to provide protection for those who protect us and guidance for those who lead us. In his name we ask, amen. I'd like for you to, first of all, make a brief announcement. This COVID experience is being sort of difficult, urging like it has. I'd like for you to keep everybody, should have put that into prayer, to protect us from the bug. Yeah. But our county surveyor, Terry Brock, is he's recovering. I don't think it's too serious, but I don't know. I'm making an assumption there. But we usually have a drainage board, and some of you might have not received the email that we would have no drainage board today, so we waited for Terry to get back. But keep Terry in your thoughts and prayers, and all the people in our country who are experiencing great difficulty at this time. First item on the business today is reorganization. That is of this board. And so one of the things that the decision that we made was we're going to rotate this position. It's not going to be the same president year after year. Everybody has an opportunity to jump in and enjoy the leadership. So with that, I'd like to open up the nominations for the president of the board for 2022.
I'd like to nominate Kenny Hale for president.
I'll second that. I move the nominations be closed.
I'll second that.
All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And therefore, Kenny, I congratulate you. I look forward to working with you this next year.
Lucky you.
Pardon? Yeah.
Lucky you.
Open up nominations for vice chair for the board.
I'd like to nominate Brian Collier.
Second.
We didn't discuss that.
Yeah.
Entertain a motion to close nominations. Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion
Opposed?
carries. Very good. That's it. Go ahead and have the claims before us now.
Sorry.
The claims before us now.
They're in the packet there.
Yep.
Brian Kyer makes the motion that we approve total claims totaling $2,276,652.20.
I'll second.
Got a motion, got a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Brooklyn Town Council, I seen Kelsey Dunning. There she is.
I saw Joyce was here.
Good morning. Thanks for letting us come and speak in front of you. I'm going to have Brian Nielsen. He is with HWC that's working with our town council. So I'm going to have him speak on behalf of the Brooklyn Town Council.
See you, Brian. Thank you.
Good morning, thank you. To keep this brief, in working with the town of Brooklyn, they are under an additional action plan agreed order to remove sanitary sewer overflows.
I'm sorry?
Sanitary sewer overflows, the Indiana Department of Environmental Management has them under an agreed order, a legal obligation to remove sanitary sewer overflows which are illegal under their discharge permit for wastewater treatment. These overflows are shown in the exhibit that I've provided you. There are 4 locations, and each of them are basically sequential going from south to north along the pump stations. The primary source of the clear water, rainwater getting into the system that's causing it to overflow due to lack of capacity, has been identified as the mobile home park up in the southwestern area. This mobile home park, roughly in the early 90s, was, I won't say forced, but it was highly suggested by the IDEM group that they remove their failing wastewater treatment plant and connect directly to the Brooklyn system. To give you an idea what that impact is, the mobile home park has, there's 950 connections for the sewer system, of which 550 are the mobile home park alone. So they are more than half. When they were added on, almost an entire another town was added to the system. It leaks like a sieve, without worrying about numbers, but on a dry day, you'll see less than 100 gallons per minute. With an inch of rain or so, you'll see 1,600 gallons per minute over a long period of time. The town has taken actions to attempt to remove these sanitary sewer overflows per their requirement, but it's just too much. The town has brought HWC Engineering, whom I work for, to assist them in meeting their legal obligations of removing the sanitary sewer overflows. About the only way we can see fixing this system is spend anywhere from $3.5 to $5 million sealing the system up. In other words, putting a new system in or repairing the existing system. Or in this case, roughly about $2.5 million to build what's on the exhibit, a very large pump station that then bypasses the entire collection system for the town and takes it directly to the wastewater treatment plant. Without having to increase the treatment plant capacity, we're recommending an equalization tank. So, in effect, this will provide the best economic aspect for short term, and the town will be required as part of this process through IDEM to continue to remove this clear water that's causing the sanitary sewer overflows. With that, any questions that you have on it? It's effectively very simple. A lot of water has to get down to the treatment plant. While they send it through the system, it overflows because the system can't handle it. So we're bypassing the system.
Make sure I've got a grasp of it. Excuse me. Mr.
Absolutely.
Chairman.
Oh, you're fine.
So you really have two choices here. You've got too much wastewater, and is this a consequence of the trailer court?
It's not actual wastewater. What happens?
I mean, it's
rain.
stormwater.
The rain is getting
Right.
in there.
But-
The town has taken actions to find out where the rain's getting in and have not found any silver bullet, if you will, any location, single location or multiple locations. And because there's thousands of feet of laterals within this trailer park, it may be unique to the entire state, if not the country in many aspects. A legal action was taken back in the early 90s that the town owns all the laterals. In most any community, every community I've ever worked in, laterals are a private system and therefore are required by the private owners to assist the town or city to fix. The city has choices with that. Beyond that, in this case, the town actually owns every inch of every lateral and pipe in that mobile home park.
I'm sorry, that last part,
The town was required to take over the entire system, laterals and main line.
in the mobile home park.
Mobile home park only.
Does that seem to be the place where your stormwater
Yes.
is
There's
from the mobile home park?
The town has a flow meter just in the system next to the mobile home park, and they've documented the flow rates that I was providing.
During the rainy periods?
During rain
and-
periods, yes.
Right, okay. Yeah, I used to, that's not important. I can remember when they built, that was the only sewer plant they really had for Brooklyn was the one they built for the trailer court. Of course, that failed sometime along the line, but I used to farm that ground right next to it, and I can remember when that was put in. I know, I'm long in tooth.
I'm not far behind you.
Well, it's fun. There's challenges, but it's fun. Okay, so you're looking at either $3.5 or $2.5 million bucks, right?
Correct.
And you're looking for money,
Yes.
okay,
I'm here for technical only. I'll be
all
happy
right.
to-
We are. We did apply for a grant, and we missed the grant by 3, like they say, 3
I'm
points.
sorry,
I said we applied for a grant to help us pay for this, and we did
With
not.
who?
Who was the grant through?
The grant was with the Okra.
Okra,
Office
yes.
of
Okra,
Community
okay.
Affairs.
And we did miss that grant by 3 points, they said. So we're working on to reapply for the grant as well.
You have reapplied?
It's open, and yes, we have. Yeah. But we need money to help offset that.
What other avenues have you investigated on money?
The town has applied to the Indiana Finance Authority for the State Revolving Loan Fund, basically a low-interest loan, to which they were approved, but no forgivable loan or grant money was included with that. So the town has selected to delay bidding the project and reapplying to the IFA, Indiana Finance Authority, to attempt to get some grant money out of that if any additional monies come through this year.
Okay. What about rate increases? Is that on the table?
Yes. Due to the volatility of the bid situation right now, supply chains, everything that you're hearing in the news, we are preparing a bid process so that not just what you see here, but additional repairs throughout the system and the wastewater treatment facility can be identified, can be bid, and that bid will be done in a manner that the town can select the most important ones. These are required. They'll have to select these in order to identify impact to the rates.
Okay.
Which ones they select will show how much impact there will be. If they select everything recommended, the rates will more than double without any forgivable loan or grant.
What are the rates now for, do you know?
The rates are on a, per IFA, are on a per 4,000 gallon identification, and that's roughly about $34 per 4,000 gallons. Most people don't use that much, so their actual cost will be less, but for financial purposes, it's $34.
Okay. And how much money do you guys get from ARPA?
The number that I've heard, and I'd have to confirm this, is roughly the 200,000 range.
How much?
200,000 range?
Yes, he's right, around
Okay,
$200,000.
I just was curious about some of the opportunities for taking care of your needs. Thank you.
So a water bill for, you mentioned $34. Is that water and sewer?
No, that would just be sewer alone.
Okay. So a water and sewer bill on a monthly basis, family of 4 averages what up there?
I don't know again, the 4,000 gallon is a financial level.
Right.
Most people don't use that much, so they're not gonna be paying actual $34 a month.
Because that seems really low for what I'm paying down here.
I know my water bill ranges anywhere from $70 to $100 at Brooklyn.
Okay.
And that's your water only,
Water and sewer,
water and sewer.
yeah, combined.
You have how many people on? 900 and some?
Those are just connections, so there'd be roughly 900, I believe 950, roughly.
950? And the project's total was 3.5 to 5 million?
No, there are various projects for what's in front of you right now. Just the lift station and just the force main and equalization basin to remove the sanitary sewer overflows would be approximately 2.5 million.
2.5.
The total project cost for everything that's being recommended is roughly about 9 million.
You're doing the engineering side and you got the dollars. Is the town using any kind of, I guess you'd say, financial consultants? Who are they?
Yes, Steve Brock is the primary financial consultant.
Steve Brock of Morgan County, our Steve Brock?
No, different Steve Brock.
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
You gonna say, I didn't know he did that.
I was that way
I
too.
thought he just-
I was like that
yeah.
the first time when
I
I
knew
came. I'm like,
Steve, but I
he's a finance
thought he was school board guy or something. Okay.
It's a different Steve.
And
Brock.
who's he with?
He's self-employed, I believe. He's with a firm, and one of the names on the firm is Brock. I'd have to pull out his card to.
Yeah.
That's okay. I was just curious of what he was, who it was and what they were doing.
Yeah.
And they have, the numbers that I provided you are from him, from the financial advisor, and the work required for the IFA SRF loan.
Dollars, but he don't know how to get it.
Correct.
Got it. I've had that problem.
I think we all have it one time.
I'm still driving an old car. EPA isn't after me either, yet.
State revolving loan fund and the block grant to CDBG, I'm assuming you had applied for the full amount of like 2.5 million on that CDBG grant, or?
The Okra only has the $700,000 grant maximum.
Max for
And the
sewer
town has
projects.
applied for the full $700,000 grant.
And that's a 50/50 or 75/25?
No, I believe that's a straight grant.
Full,
Yes.
okay.
And regardless, any loan aspect of the SRF would be considered the other side.
And bonding, how have you, of course, you don't know yet, so you don't know how much you need.
Correct.
But looks like you've got $1 million sitting there, well, it's 900,000 if I'm just quickly running through it, that you're getting, if you get the grant, and then you also get the 200,000 that you have from ARPA. Is that right?
The grant would be $700,000, and then if you're looking at the town's ARP, that would be $900,000 total.
Right.
Yes.
And that leaves about $1.5 million that you'd have to bond, correct?
For what you have in front of you right now, again, the entire project is estimated at roughly $9 million. The town was only asking for the required SSO facilities infrastructure, required by IDEM, and these were what's recommended for that IDEM requirement.
Well, I'm sorry, I lost you on the next, I saw 3 and 2.5 and 3.5, one or the other.
Right, 2.5, yeah.
But then where'd the 9 million come in?
What you see is only a part of the total recommended repairs that the town is facing. And so if you're looking at all the lift stations, all their force mains, they're all old and are breaking down. And then the same with the wastewater treatment facility, which is over 20, all their equipment's over 20 years old and breaking down, and then they can't even get repairs for it anymore, it's so old. So when all added together, that is the $9 million total project cost. The town didn't feel that you would be open to a $9 million ask, but if you're asking, they would be happy to take $9 million for the entire project.
I'm not sure we're up to anything yet until we know, there's a lot of moving parts in this, as I see it right now.
And unfortunately, you're the third utility to ask for the same thing on a limited amount of dollars. I don't, it almost sounds like it's, I know it's your problem, you've inherited it, but it sounds like it's a rate issue that's been going on for a long time.
Right, and plus the lines are breaking down, I mean, everything's so old.
Right, but those should be maintained by the rates in which you charge. And I don't understand the lateral thing. You're the only one I've ever heard, and I've got very limited knowledge in that arena of litigation. But I don't know of anybody else that's in that situation.
Correct.
Can you, I don't know when that was ruled, but I would have appealed that.
It was a court action back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I can't speak to why or how or who made that recommendation.
Yeah.
But the legal document placed that requirement on the town.
I'd go back to court and give it back.
It was pretty standard in Indiana. The consent decrees all over municipalities. I think Indianapolis had the same thing in the 90s too. And I think their estimate was $2.5 million to get it fixed. So it's not, this was an item push to get rid of fines back then. It was the Evan By fishable swivel. Every non-navigable creek is fishable swivel.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming today. It's a lot of food for thought for us, that's for sure. And like Brian said, I know this is the third request for sewer help in the county, right, at this point. And I just think that we need to probably go ahead and table this and get a little bit of time to let everybody digest this and see where we're at. We'll definitely stay in contact though and see if there is any kind of way to help, but it's, like Brian said, it should definitely be a rate covering everything, but I mean, you're talking a massive, I understand IDEM's gonna force you into making the rate increase on just what's they're required to start with, but to do everything to cover all your laterals since you've got them all in that trailer court, it's gonna be a salty rate hike.
What's your time frame you're working with?
At this point, given the reapplications for the grant money, it's anticipated that this will go to bid in August of this year, of 2022.
Thank you.
And who, you got Cornerstone or who you got working on the grant?
Amy Miller,
Yeah,
I
Amy
believe,
Miller.
is.
Amy Miller.
She used to be
Yes.
with Cornerstone, yeah.
Yeah, I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's already submitted?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, at this point, go ahead and entertain a motion to go ahead and table this, not just next month, but down the road, so we have a little bit of time to look at this, and we'll get back with
We
you.
appreciate it.
I'll move the table, of the discussion till, or put it on hold, I guess, another way of putting it, but I don't think we need to just keep, we
No.
just need more information before we start making some decisions.
We got a motion to put this on hold for now. Do we have a second?
Brian Carr, seconds.
And seconds, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
And-
We meet
and
the
then-
second Tuesday of every month. You're welcome to come to our.
Okay,
town
and then I'm just throwing numbers out there, but if you do basically 950 people, $9 million project, spread it out over 20 years, depending on interest, you're looking at about a $39 water rate increase. And the only thing I will encourage you is everything that I read and watched on Meet the Press and my economic degree that the citizens helped pay for over the years, rates are going up, so move quickly.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Highway Department, fuel quotes.
Happy New Year.
We did not receive any quotes back when we released the bid, so I've been soliciting numbers for fuel for the highway department. We're looking at 110,000 gallons total between unleaded and diesel. And where we're at is we need to lock in a number here pretty soon because fuel rates are going up. The situation with that, though, is it is a day-to-day fluctuation. So as soon as we get the quote that same day to lock in that number for the year, we need to do it that day, if that makes sense. Right now, I've only gotten 2 quotes back, again, but these were Friday's numbers, okay? So again, today I'll have to get new numbers. But it's looking like a company by the name of Newton. They're actually in the Lafayette area, I think is what their, I guess their corporate office is. But they recently bought the Cragen site. So, yeah, it's looking like their numbers are the cheapest.
Do you know what those numbers were for a gallon of gas and a
It
gallon
was
of-
$2.50 something.
That-
Yeah.
And again, I did a lot of homework yesterday. I wasn't sleeping.
Me too.
E13 is the national average, and they predict once the summer, when it naturally goes up to 418.
Yeah.
And so sooner we
Yes.
can lock those in. the
Correct,
sooner
and,
the
you know,
better it'll be.
there is the option, you know, to ride the market, you know, just in general conversation. I mean, we don't necessarily have a magic ball or a financial guy that we can talk to. I talked to Josh about that, and that's something, in my opinion, the county maybe want to start looking at, but that's for another time. Is that we do need to lock these numbers in. I mean,
What do you need from us to lock them in?
nothing. I think this is, I actually didn't even realize this was going to be put on today's. So it's just informational, letting you guys know where we're at with this fuel, and that we're more than likely going to move from Co-Alliance to Newton if the numbers continue to show lower.
Grant, did you talk about the premium or?
Yeah, we can touch base on that a little bit. And this is my apology. I didn't catch the verbiage on that bid release. And in that bid release, it says clear as day, 92 octane premium fuel. Well, as you guys know, you can see it visibly when you're at the pump, you know, at the Shell station or Marathon, that, you know, these premium fuels are 20 and 30 cents higher than your 87. Well, there's nothing in our fleet that would not run on 87. So, you know, I'm changing the verbiage a little bit on that. I've talked to Josh, and there's no reason that we can't.
Okay.
So that's all that is. I mean, it's just as a, you know, 110,000 gallons, and if we can save 20 cents by just running 87 instead of 92 or 90, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then it just makes sense. It's a saving for the community and the county and everybody else. Good?
Good.
Any other
Questions,
questions?
comments, concerns? Okay. As soon as I do get something locked in, hopefully today, I'll let you guys know who it is, and we'll get the W-9.
You might tell
and all that.
Co-Alliance sharpen their pencil.
Yeah, no,
'Cause they've
I
serviced-
mean,
they've done well
They've done
in the
great. We've never had any problems with their fuel. I mean, I've talked to Chris, and I've told him, I mean, straight up, this is where we're at, you know what I mean? I'd love to continue to do business with them. I mean, because there's nothing worse than going to a new fuel company, not knowing what you're gonna get, and the last thing we wanna do is be
Yeah.
froze up or gelled up on the side of the road. So,
No
you know, it's out there, but I mean, you know, the money talks, and I mean, we're looking at roughly a 5 cents a gallon difference right now, so.
Can you take both of them?
No, we cannot.
Okay.
No, we cannot. And the reason for that, more or less, is on the coal lines or Newton side, more or less, when I say, yes, you're it.
Then they have to
I'm
claim
more
it.
or less ordering 110,000 gallons of fuel, so they're going to
I
theirs
got you.
and, you know,
Okay.
putting it on theirs. And I
Makes
guess
sense.
we can touch base a little bit on that too. Even though we're ordering 110,000, we're probably gonna only do 85% of that total quantity, because if you don't use it and it gets moved to January of 13, you're getting charged a fee to do that. And I think that's just things that in the past that have just not been paid attention to. And so we just gotta get cleaned up like a number of other things. Okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Grant.
Next up, grant request, court service. I seen Jeff Adre.
Good morning.
Morning, Jeff.
We would request that the board approve 2020, 22-23 fiscal year juvenile community corrections grant application, which is due February 17th. The grant covers prevention, diversion, and intervention with all new juvenile delinquency cases coming into the system, as well as 24/7 crisis intervention for law enforcement. I think you guys are pretty familiar with the program, so I won't go into great detail, but I can answer hopefully any questions you might have or concerns.
Any questions for Jeff?
Pretty standard, same grant we've been getting state money for 15, 20 years now, I believe.
Thank you.
So,
Entertain a motion on this.
Brian Kyer makes a motion that we approve the eligibility to accept and write this grant.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Any further questions, concerns? Or from the audience? Not hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Thank you,
all right,
Jeff.
thank you.
Appointments. I know, I did hear back from Jerry McGrath from the Board of Zoning Appeals, and he would definitely do one more year. I'll just go over what I've worked on the Community Corrections Board. Been working with Brian Foley on that. All 5 of them would be willing to go ahead and serve again. He would recommend that as well. He did let me know that the school board representative that's been on the board for about 10 years is no longer there from Mooresville, and he would maybe make a suggestion that we look at maybe the Martinsville Metropolitan School District this time, because Mooresville's been on it for about 10 years. So I know we'd already talked to Don about that, and that's just something that we need to look at. They do need a school board representative, administrator, so. And Howard McCormick's still highlighted, but I do know that we went ahead and did that last meeting, and talked to Deb, and we know that's good.
Just want to make a comment, this mainly because I'm from that area, but going through the list here on the community corrections, I don't see anybody from north of Centerton. And I think we ought to try to continue.
I don't have, Brian didn't tell me who the school board administrator was.
It wasn't,
Looks like it was the educator, this Emily, I don't know her.
well, we checked that out.
Yeah.
And let's look at that.
Yep,
I don't mind, I just like to get a balance in the county. if we
oh,
can
I
do it.
agree there.
Let's play that game.
Not a problem. Just going down, entertain a motion on the Board of Zoning Appeals.
I'll move, we reappoint Jerry McGrath
We have a first, do we have a second?
Second.
Second, all those in favor of Jerry McGrath for the BZA signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Don, did you get a chance to talk to Deborah?
I didn't talk to Deborah. I do believe, and I haven't talked to Krista either. They were on vacation, so as soon as we get back, you're talking about the Morgan County Library?
Yep.
I haven't heard anything from either one, so it's still, I've got calls in, just haven't heard anything. I did get an appointment further down there on animal disease control, and she says okay. So I will move that our appointment to the animal disease coordinator be Amy Falkenberg of Monrovia, Dr. Amy Falkenberg.
Got a motion to appoint Amy back to the animal disease control. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Collier. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Moving right on along, the 5 that's highlighted on the Community Corrections Board. Do we have a motion on them?
Brian Kyer makes the motion that we reappoint the 5 candidates presented before us.
We got a first and a second for the 5 being Kristen Lewis, Joe Gahn, Candace Carter, Brent Foltz, and Shannon Hickey. Do we have a, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Moving right on along. See, I know me and Jim had talked about that the last time, and he didn't get a chance to get that looked up, so I'd say skip that one for right now and come back to it. If you guys are fine with that at this point. Redevelopment Commission, has anybody talked to anybody?
I have talked to Daniel, and he's going to get, the one we'll be replacing will be Ralph Foley, and he'll have a name that the board has looked at for our next meeting.
What about Dr. Jake Allen? Did you get a chance to talk to Jake?
Didn't talk to Jake yet. I need to, and those boys that go on winter break, they go on winter break. So I'll get a hold of Jake. Hope he does.
Moving down to the Convention Visitor Tourism Commission. I've been working with Tasha and Jamie on that. I know they've been wanting for a few years now somebody in the lodging, motel, hotel to be represented on that board. Bob Nelson used to a degree by being chief financial officer for Bradford Woods and all the rentals that they had with the Bradford House and all the camps. But they would like somebody else, and I did reach out to Michelle Keller. She is willing to serve, and I just wanted to bring that name before you. If you guys have anybody else, I'd be more than glad to listen to that.
Did you talk to Joe?
I have not talked to Joe. I was gonna wait and see. Joe and Jamie's and Tasha's reason, he's not with the Nature Conservancy anymore. He's not with the Park Board, and that's kind of why he was on there to start with originally, because he was president of the Park Board.
But the replacement would take Joe's place?
Yes. Yeah. And if you want to wait, we can do that, and I can
do.
talk to Joe and give
I'd
him
rather
a
wait.
call. Not a problem. Moving right on along.
Does
That's it.
that have to be affiliated with a political party?
Yes, and you've already got,
Amy?
You've already got 2 independents, 1 Democrat, 1 Republican, the way it is right now, and I don't know what the other member is. We did definitely,
So do we have to find a Democrat?
if we hurry up and appoint before the city does, we don't.
If we hurry up and do what?
If we hurry up and appoint now, you'd have 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and we wouldn't have to, then the mayor would have to.
I don't think Michelle's a Democrat.
No,
Or-
she's a
or-
Republican.
Or she didn't vote for her husband. I'm just saying.
I'll talk to Joe and we'll bring it back up at the next meeting. Thank you, gentlemen. Annual contracts. first one in your packet is the extension educator for Purdue upstairs. It's the same. Dates have changed and everything, but the dollar amount's the same. Entertain a motion on that. If there's no questions for that, I
Brian,
believe.
Brian, motion that we approve the extension contractual service agreement between Purdue University and the Morgan County.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any further questions from the board or from the audience? Not hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It carries 3-0. Next one is Sycamore Services. The dollar amount stayed the same. The dates have changed. That is for the salary portion and the lease portion of it. So entertain a motion on that one at this time.
Also move
I'll second the
for
motion.
Sycamore Services, I should specify.
Any further questions, concerns?
I will publicly state, and I've already filed the disclosure that I have a conflict because they have rented off of me for 15 years.
Yep.
So I will abstain from this vote.
Yep. Any other questions from the audience? Not hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Mr. Collier, 2-0-1. Next one is Morgan County Connect. It's the Morgan County Coordinated Aging, I believe. The dollar amount's the same. Dates have changed on it. Entertain a motion on that one.
I will make a motion for Morgan County Connect, which is basically, I think, run through Sycamore Services too. So they're providing a really good service for the transportation of the aged. So I make a motion, we go approve that.
We got a motion on the floor. I'll second the motion. Any further questions from the board or the audience? Not hearing none. All those in favor sing by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next one, Morgan County Fair Board.
I'd like to put this on hold for a little bit, just to kind of do some discussion. I'll move to put the Morgan County Fair Board request on hold.
Do they have like an executive of, I don't care if all 45 board members show up, but do they have a smaller executive committee that we can meet with to?
Well, I know
Make sure we're
Terry,
getting on the
Terry's the new
same page
president
there.
on the board, so I'll check with Terry when he gets
Yeah,
healed up.
you're our representative, right?
I'm on the Fair Board, yes.
I think we need to have a joint
I
meeting
don't
real
know
quick.
I'm a new member, I just went down, ate a good dinner and got elected and don't know diddly-do about what I'm doing. So I need to meet and find out how this is run.
At least you're honest.
Never have a problem with that.
We got a motion on the floor to put a hold on the Morgan County Fair contract for this year.
Second.
Have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0. COA Aging In-House Solutions. The only thing that's changed is the date again. The amount's the same as it has been the last few years.
Brian Collier makes the motion that we approve this contract.
We have a motion. I'll second the motion. Any further questions from the board or the audience? Not hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Hilldale Cemetery Association. Dollar amounts the same.
Brian Collier makes the motion that we accept the Hilldale Cemetery Association contract.
We have a motion. I'll second it for the Hilldale Cemetery Association. Any further questions from the board or from the audience? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Animal contract, animal control contract. The first one is for the emergency runs after hour. The second one is actually for the operation of the shelter and the personnel. Dollar amounts are the same.
Have either one of you two been contacted by any representative of the Humane Society?
I've only talked to the lady that comes and picks up the young ladies over at the jail, and I see her quite often, but I know there's been a change on the board and everything. There's no director and hasn't been for a while, and it sounds like it's the board's wishes, it's going smoothly, and they're not wanting to change what I'm hearing, so that's all I can tell you.
I just know that there was another turnover a while back, which was a counter to the first turnover, which was a counter to the turnover before the first turnover, so I just, I think this would be another organization that it would behoove us to meet with whoever their executive group is, just to get to know who they are and see what their fundraising goals are and what their plans are, and see how we can assist them at the same time that we're giving them these contracts. And with that said, I will make the motion that we approve both the contract for emergency services and the contract for animal control, with the caveat that I would like to meet with them.
I'll second the motion and the caveat.
A second to approve both contracts with animal control. All those in favor of that signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. I will make sure that we get a meeting set up with the Fair Board as well as with the Animal Control Board as well, Brian and Don, so. I'll probably just go ahead and shoot you guys out 4 dates to start with and then start working with them.
Okay.
Any other old business needs to come before the board? 0? For the good of the cause, Don?
Well, first of all, glad to hand the reins back, and I like the idea that we're using a rotational leadership in this board. It's been a good learning experience for me to have been where I was this past year. Learned a great deal, and I appreciate the cooperation. One of the programs, as far as the good of the county, we're getting ready for, this is the beginning of our bicentennial. As you know, I'm kind of heading up that program. We'll have a meeting coming up the 15th of February. We're going to have a kickoff in Superior Court 3. I'll find out more in a couple weeks on how that plaque is coming. But along with that, there's several other good programs that are going to happen, and I encourage, we'll be having a website and things like that where different activities that they're still going on. If you've not on Facebook and seen Ellen Wilson's Pruitt's posting, it's fascinating to see the things that she's doing, and some of that's going to end up on our bicentennial. On a different plane, one of the things I was talking, I did want to thank Brian for the donuts. I don't know if I said that already. I've already eaten 1.5. I left the other half for the English teacher among us. They always like halves. But I like this room. The only thing I did in my first term to decorate it was to put a picture of Lucille over here with a little memorial to her, which I thought was, you know, we keep calling her Lucille Sadler. Some people don't even know who she is and what she did. So we have that plaque. Well, I'm hot on the, you know, it takes me about 8 years before I decide to do something else. I'd like to look at beautifying this a little bit. And I'm going to suggest that maybe people that are interested, you can put a feeler out there, Keith, in the newspaper, but maybe on our website. I know Morgan County is blessed with artists. It's fantastic. I challenge all, you know, we talk about Brown County artists. We've got Morgan County artists that are just super. And I'd like to put a little gathering of those people together and beautify this a little bit. There's walls that need pictures and make us appreciate even more. Keith's got something cooking.
I think we can all go along with that. We need to draw the line. No
Well, that'll have to be a committee decision. I know how you and Dan would vote, so. Thank you, Keith. But anyway, I'd like to get that ball rolling and see what we can come up with that kind of makes the room attractive and makes us more attractive, I guess you say. Picture hanger. And I can go around and straighten them too. I do that. So that's my good of the county. Keep an eye out on the bicentennial. We've got a great year ahead of us of appreciation of what we are and what we've been. So I look forward to it.
Anything else, Mr. Collier?
And that we adjourn?
Second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
I know it. You're good. If you can't make fun of yourself, then you should.